about being a lifelong learner? Currently, I'm making strawberry jam. Please excuse me because they were taking up space in my freezer and they needed to get out. So, recently, we just butchered our first batch of broiler chickens. This was a first for us. We have helped process chickens before, but these were ours that we raised from little chicks. And to spare you, I did not take any footage of that experience. You're welcome. But all to say, it was a very valuable experience for not just my husband and myself, but for our entire family. We let the kids take part of any part of the process that they wanted. And we had some feedback from some family members saying, why on earth would you let them do that? Well, because a long time ago, when people were just trying to feed their families and it was like normal to grow your own food and butcher your own livestock, the kids were not sheltered from that experience. And for my husband and myself, who did not grow up in that kind of environment, we want our kids to not be sensitive to that. We want them to learn these skills alongside of us because, number one, eating is important. Number two, growing your own food is important. And number three, just learning skills in general is so very important, especially in adulthood, right? Because learning does not stop once you graduate high school or college or grad school, right? If we are lifelong learners, we are always gaining new skills to add to our quality of life, to add to our family's quality of life, and to hopefully leave a really important legacy behind when we're gone that, oh, like this is really valuable stuff. If we are dedicated to being lifelong learners, our kids are going to gain a crazy amount of skills from just watching us and being part of those experiences. So let's talk about it a little bit. If we are dedicated to learning new skills as adults, our kids are going to be even more excited to learn skills themselves, whether it's things that they're learning from us or alongside us, or things that they are initiating learning themselves. They will see how we process different barriers of a skill or different challenges that we face or ways that we are able to problem solve. And they're going to pick up on that. They're going to watch us come up with an idea and figure out how to implement that idea and get it in motion. So I want to process strawberries to make strawberry jam for the year. How am I going to do that? And they get to watch the process from start to finish and kind of get an idea of like what all that entails. They will get to witness some really awesome resilience in us as we navigate problems and challenges and kind of figure things out as we go. If we're resilient in figuring something out and not really taking no for an answer and not taking failure for an answer, they're going to pick up on that resilience too. They're going to mirror all of these traits that they're seeing in us, and then they're not going to be so afraid to fail or to try new things or to advocate for something that they want to do or to have really creative ideas and implement them themselves. They're going to see our experiences and see them as relatable. So some things that I have personally learned as I've let my kids come alongside of me while I'm learning skills myself, ways that I can be an active teacher for them to learn different traits. So I don't guard them from my disappointment. If I'm doing something like baking a loaf of bread or ruining a strawberry jam recipe or oops, I accidentally killed a chicken this week. I mean, I didn't do it. Nature did, but that was not a pleasant experience. I want them to see my disappointment. I want them to see how I process that disappointment because it's okay to feel disappointed. But what am I going to do with that disappointment? Am I going to make it a better experience from that? Or am I going to let it stop me from learning things? I'm going to show my kids how to be a failure, because along with disappointment can come a lot of failure. And I've had my fair share of failing when I'm learning new skills. Hopefully, you can relate to that. I know I'm not the only failure on the internet, but showing them how I take that failure and I learn from my mistake and I let it sanctify me and I let it refine the process, and then I keep plugging forward. I show them that I can be a problem solver too. I tell my kids all the time, okay, ouch, that's so hot. Oh my gosh. I'm solving problems. I'm making problems and I'm solving problems. So when something comes up, even if it's out of my control, I'm figuring out, okay, how can we solve this? Like, is there a way to solve it? And if so, let's figure out a solution. I'm telling my kids that all the time. But also on the flip side, get excited when something turns out or goes your way or you figure something out and it actually works. Show them the excitement that you experience because of something that you did with your hands or your brain. So, a little call to action for this week. Let your kids see some kind of skill where you're being a lifelong learner, whether it's making jam or fixing a car or building something with your hands or cooking a recipe that you just want to get right or you've never done before, or overcoming some kind of a social anxiety or some kind of a financial barrier. Whatever it is, I would encourage you to allow your kids to see the raw process of that and kind of talk through it with them. Like, hey, I felt really disappointed by this, or oh my gosh, I was so surprised by this because I didn't think it was going to turn out. Let them see that and let them experience it. And this is very hot. I'm going to set this down and enjoy the process together. Thank you so much for joining. If you found this at all helpful or encouraging, please hit the like button and hit subscribe so that you can be notified whenever I put out new content. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm going to finish this jam while the kids are napping because that's not going to last long. And I hope you have a wonderful day.